Before you go tour homes this weekend, stop. Because the biggest mistake I see Austin homebuyers making isn't buying the wrong house, it's buying the wrong lifestyle. I've watched people pick the most gorgeous home and then regret it within a year because they didn't ask themselves these 5 questions first. So, before you fall in love with a house, ask yourself these 5 things. Hi, I'm Nicole Cooper, UT Golf alum and real estate pro for over 15 years in the Austin area. I've been helping people buy and sell homes, especially in golf communities. So if you're looking for how to find that right lifestyle, you're in the right spot. All you have to do is give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or schedule a Zoom call so we can get the right strategy working for you. And all that information is right below. And after doing this for over a decade, I can tell you something most buyers learn the hard way, and that's a house can be perfect and still be wrong for you. So let's get started with the 5 questions. Number 1 is super obvious. What lifestyle do you want? Do you need to be close to shopping? Do you want to be more surrounded by nature? Do you want to be able to leave the car in the garage, maybe not even have a car? These are all really important questions to ask yourself. In addition, what do you do other than work? Or where do the kids go? Or what is your favorite hobby? These are things you really need to dial in because that's going to help you determine what part of Austin to live in. Have a look. So I've picked 3 houses that are quite similar in age and size. We have one down here in the south, we have one in the 04, and we have one up north. And just to give you an idea, they're all around $1 million. This is kind of the new modern construction vibe that we're seeing. This one's a little bit more boxy, but they all give off that same vibe. New construction, 2023 or newer, yet they are going to be completely different lifestyles. So this one down here in the south side of town, you're super close to the Barton Creek Greenbelt. And the Barton Creek Greenbelt is one of our prized possessions here in town. You can see here, you can swim when we have rain, you can kayak when we have rain. Otherwise, it's always 365 days of the year available to hike down. You can bike if you're adventurous on your mountain bike, but it's just a gorgeous trail that runs miles, over 10 miles down through the west side of Austin. And if you happen to be living kind of near one of these entrances over here, then that might be something that's really appealing for you if you're a nature lover. Now, if you're living over here at this one, Live Oak Street, well, you are right between the entertainment district of First Street and Congress. Let's talk SoCo. You've got all the restaurants, you've got Continental Club, which is a music venue that has been there for decades and decades. You're gonna have very small venue. You're gonna be right up close to the music there. You have everything from Hop Dottie's Pizza to Perla's seafood. So SoCo is another one of our kind of shopping and entertainment districts combined. And if you were to live in this Live Oak area right here, you would probably feel you would feel a completely different pull and a completely different vibe than if you were living down here south of 290. Now, if we were to pull up here to this north spot, this is yet again a completely different feel. And let's remember, the houses are all pretty, similar with that modern construction vibe. You may be drawn to one may be more appealing to you than another, but they're all very similar new construction. This house here is going to be much closer to the Domain. So if big type shopping is important to you, you may want to be more in this northern pocket of town so you can get up to the Domain. The Domain is where we have our most luxury stores in, like, think Gucci and Rolex and Prada and things like that. And this Burnett corridor here has a bit of entertainment district as well. Nothing quite as big as SoCo down on the south side, but again, lots of things to do. Definitely different vibes in these 3 neighborhoods. So whether you need to be near the trail, you need to be near downtown restaurants, you need to be near the lake, these are all things to ask yourself on this first question of what lifestyle do you actually want. And you just don't want to get this wrong because selling in a year can be painful. In other words, expensive. So I had a client that just really wanted to be right in the thick of things downtown. They wanted one of those big high-rise condos because it has all the amenities and the pool and the dog concierge services and everything. But then they got a dog, and then they realized that walking the dog 3 to 5 times a day was a real pain in the tush, and so they wanted to move. They needed a yard. These are important things to know before you buy, because if you have to sell in a year, chances are you're going to be spending extra money to sell that house, because in general, we grow about 3% a year in good years. We're kind of flat right now, and we're at the beginning of 2026. But if we grow at 3%, and on average, it costs about 8% to sell a house. So you do the math. It's not good math if you need to sell in a year. Question number 2, how long will you realistically live there? Are you looking for a 2 to 3 year play, or are you looking for a 7 to 10 year play? These will have domino questions off of this, because if you're planning to stay somewhere 10 years, then the next question is, well, do we expect the family unit to increase in number or decrease in number in that 10 years? And should we plan accordingly on the front end to have enough room or to downsize, whatever that looks like? If you're staying in a home for 2 to 3 years, then it's probably much more important to get in an area of town that it's expected to appreciate much more quickly, and maybe not be the exact fit for the house for you, but you're just getting in there for investment purposes. When you're staying somewhere longer, over time, real estate always wins. 7 to 10 years, you're going to come out way ahead, and therefore you want to get it exactly where you want, exactly the house you want. However, for the shorter time frame, you may be looking more towards properties that are in maybe a bit of a more transition part of town, but have that opportunity to gain more momentum quickly on that appreciation. And this leads me to the third question that most people don't even think about. What does your daily life look like? I'm talking commutes, walks, coffee, outside, inside. What do you like to do every single day? Or let's at least say 3 days a week. My golden rule is, if you do something more than 3 times a week, you need to make that something easy. If that's the gym, if that's taking the kids to school, if that's commuting to work, those commutes or those distances or times need to be something that's easy to get done. If you do yoga, for example, and your yoga studio is 30 minutes away, and you do that 3 to 5 times a week, that's going to be a real pain. You're not going to enjoy that. Same thing with dropping the kiddos at school, of course. And of course, if you have to work. If you're working in the domain, you don't want to live in Onion Creek. The commute is horrible. We don't have what is classified as bad traffic according to New York and Chicago standards, but our road and infrastructure just isn't that great. It's just not big enough to handle the capacity that we currently have. So if you have to go diagonally across town, it takes an enormous amount of time during those rush hour windows. I mean, after all, your house should support your way of life, not the other way around. If your daily routine doesn't match the neighborhood you're living in, the newness wears off quick and it becomes a drag. The fourth question is, are you buying a new home or are you buying stress? And what I mean by this is, let's talk about budget. You don't want to be maxed out, be house poor, be worried about every bill that comes in month to month. You need to figure out your monthly budget, your payments, your down payment, all these things, so that you know you have enough reserves if the HVAC goes out, that air conditioner in the summer quits working on you, you need an extra 15 grand to put in a new one. Say you need a new roof. Things happen when you own a home. You're building wealth in the long run, but you also have to take care of anything that breaks. So you want to make sure you have extra money going in and you're not maxing out with what the mortgage guy says that you can qualify for. Most often, in fact, 98.8% of the time, people can qualify for a lot more home or a lot more payment than they're actually comfortable with. So you don't want to max out that budget according to the mortgage broker. You want to make sure you're adding in your HOA fees, little maintenance dues here and there, having some money for those deferred maintenance items in the future, and you don't want to have it all locked into that monthly payment. If you want to practice figuring out what your monthly payment is, get you a PITI calculator. They're all over online. That's PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. That's the big picture. That way you won't be leaving anything out. Principal and interest is just half of it. When we talk about our Texas taxes, property taxes are pretty high in Texas, but we don't have a state income tax, so it kind of offsets. In general, when you're doing the math, in the Austin area, you can put in about 2.3% annual property tax on your home. And for insurance, it's getting a lot more expensive because of these natural disasters with the hurricanes and the fires and the floods. So let's say we're talking about a 2,500 square foot house, and this is a rough estimate. It also depends on the age of the house, how far you are from infrastructure like fire departments and things like that. Just put in there maybe 2,000 to 2,500, and it kind of goes up from there, up and down from there, depending on age, size, and again, how far you are from the fire department. But those are general ideas you can get to figure out what your monthly payment's going to be all in with the PITI calculator. So basically, you want this to feel financially comfortable and not like constant pressure. I mean, come on, when your buddies say, do you want to go on this trip? You want to be able to say yes and not say no because your house costs so much. Last question, does the neighborhood fit your future? I mean, what is the future plan for the neighborhood? Right now, we have a lot of construction projects going on in Austin. So if you're by the Interstate I-35, that's going to be under construction for the next 10 years, probably more. So if you're near there, that's going to impact what the future play is for the sale of that house you're buying. Another good example is Balcones Golf Course. There used to be a golf course there. People used to own homes on the golf course. That went out. It's no longer a golf course. So if you want to live in a golf community, make sure their financials are good, make sure their future looks bright before you move in there and then it goes away. Or the opposite, you move to an area and then a golf course community comes, like Travis Club. That could make your home values go way up. So look at the big picture, the macroeconomic picture of the neighborhood and how it evolves in the city and county. And you may not know that, but we can help you with that, with all those details, and tell you what's expected, what's planned, and what will probably be the outcome, either up or down, with that finance or the value and equity in that house that you're thinking about purchasing. Because let's be serious, some areas of Austin are exploding with growth, and some are just stable lifestyle communities. And which one suits you is up to you. About a month ago, I had a client come into town and say they just wanted to live in North Austin. And after we went through all the questions, all the things that they like to do, their hobby, turns out one liked golf, one liked tennis. I showed them into some golf communities, and now they are more than happy living there because everyone has something to do within walking distance of their house. They have raved about this golf community. And if you want to live in a golf community, want to know which one is best for you, comment golf below, because we know them all here and we've played every single course. We can help you locate the one that suits you best. So the biggest mistake Austin homebuyers make isn't choosing the wrong house, it's choosing the wrong lifestyle. And after this video and asking yourself these 5 questions, now you can put yourself in a better spot to pick the right neighborhood. And with our help, we can guide you there best. All you have to do is give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or schedule a Zoom call, because we're always available to help you find the perfect lifestyle that matches your house. Until next time, be kind to yourself and others. I can't wait to see you around town.